today. Glad to have you. But there's a word from the Lord tucked away. I want to look at two passages, one that I didn't have prayed of. I also want to look not only just Romans 10, I want to look at Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 and 29. Because as I was dealing with Romans 10 and 1, God began to speak to me. Even though I give this request of this invitation for salvation, I gave it before and they missed it. And when my disciple was speaking, Matthew was speaking in the parable here about, well, actually one of the parables just talking about those that have been caught up with rituals and tradition. People get tired of trying to live up to church, that we miss God. Amen. And he said here in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, are you there? Amen. He said, come unto me, all ye that are labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon me and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your soul. Then we turn over to Romans chapter 10, verse 1. We'll start at verse 1. It says, brethren, whenever you see brethren in the New Testament, it's not talking about your biological brother, but it's talking about other believers. It says brethren, so that means he's talking to the church. He said, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear the record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge, for they've been ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness, but to everyone that believeth. But Moses described the righteousness which is of the law, that the man which doeth those things shall live by them. But the righteousness is of faith, speaketh on this wise. Say not in thy heart, who shall ascend into heaven, that is to bring Christ down from above, or who shall descend into the deep, that is to bring Christ up again from the dead. But what saith it? What does it say? The word is now even in thy mouth and in thy heart, that is the word of faith which we preach, that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth and believe in thy heart and that God has raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. Amen. I just want to talk from the subject, if you allow me to, Brother Will back there in the back, I want to talk from the subject, a special request. A special request. Look at your neighbor. Say, neighbor, have you ever had a special request? What they say? Amen. Thank you, ushers. As Paul speaks to the church at Rome, the Roman Empire, and Rome being the leading nation, the powerhouse of countries, even the Jewish nation is under the auspices of the ruler of Rome. That's why when Jesus was crucified, the Jews just couldn't kill him themselves. They persecuted him, but they had to send him to the Romans to be executed. And so, as Paul writes this letter, he writes to the Roman church because sometimes it's the people in charge that must set the first example. Yeah. And so as he writes to the book of Romans, Rome, he writes more to the Rome than any other country. That's why the book of Romans is longer than any other gospel writer, any other epistle or letter that Paul writes, because he's trying to prove a point. And as Paul being one that was brought up in what he thought was right, the church, the study of God, when we first find and discover Paul, he's not known as Paul, he's known as Saul. And because of the law that Paul was brought up under, he did everything contradicted to what God really had in store for the church. Matter of fact, it was so bad in the sky that he was persecuting believers and thought he was pleasing God. He was there while believers were stoned to death. He was there putting believers in jail. Matter of fact, when he really met God for himself, he was on his way to Damascus with letters from the priest to get more believers to put him in jail. And Paul said, even though I have 3 nationalities because my family had money, I can speak 5 different languages, I was brought up in the church, I'm a Pharisee, but my greatest desire and my request today is that Israel be saved. My desire is not that you build more steeples. My desire is not that you build great temples. My desire for Israel is that you might be saved. I stopped by the service. Notice today, Tremont Temple, that I have a lot of requests. I have a lot of requests of my family, my wife, my children, sometime of you. But my greatest desire for God's people is none of those things. My desire is that God's people be saved. Oh, that's a special request today, because as Paul talks about this, Paul realized that if God's people are saved, you want to talk about loving one another, because saved folks love folks. If people got saved and it's requested, if you got saved, you want to talk about forgiving, because saved folks will let stuff go because you realize God is still in control. When you're saved, you don't have to worry about telling people to turn the other cheek and let God fight your battle, because saved folks realize that the battle is not yours, but the battle belongs to the Lord. I want to serve you. Notice today, many problems we have in our home, on our job, in our family, in our churches would not be as great as they are if we had more saved folks. Do I have a witness here that know that they would be better if we was really saved? So Paul gave a special request to the Israelites. He said, my heart and my prayer desire for Israel, that they might be saved. But it goes back to what Matthew, the son of Phileas, the disciples attached like a known sinner. He writes and said, come unto me, all that are laden and heavy laden, and God said, I will give you rest. The reason Matthew tried to witness by way of salvation, because many people at this time, Sister Griffin, were trying to live up to rituals and tradition of the church. And they got wore out and got tired. Don't you know, trying to live up to people's standards will wear you out? Trying to live to the point where people will like you will wear you out. You got to make sure you put on the right dress, make sure you got the right hat, make sure you say the right thing. But I stopped by to tell you, God used Matthew to tell him, stop trying to come unto people and come unto me. Those that really want to work for God and not man, he said, come unto me and I will give you rest. He said, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. You got to understand, many times we try to do things and try to please people, try to please situations, try to please ourselves, and we never reach the mark. That's why I say, come unto me, all that are laden and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke. Sometimes my yoke is heavy, but it makes you walk straight. Anybody think about old farm, the yoke go across the necks of the ox or the cow, and it would go on the yoke. A yoke was like a brace that would keep them straight. It was sometimes heavy, but it kept you on the straight road. Sometimes God will put heavy stuff on you, but it keep you praying. Sometimes God will put heavy weight on you, but it keep you focused on the prize. Sometimes that's why I say, take my yoke and learn of me, and I am meek, I'm lowly and hard, and you shall find rest in me. But then Paul brings up here, even 50 years later, perhaps 50 years after the death of Christ, when Paul writes this letter, he said, Israel still missed it. He said, my heart desire, my prayer, I don't care about the sin. I don't care how smart you are in Acts. I don't care how much money you have in Greece. I don't care how many languages you speak. My desire is that you be saved. Listen, we have 5 buses, 2 vans, TVs in every classroom, padded pews, heated cushioned seats. It don't mean a thing if we're not saved. We can have $2 million in the bank, 5 million in savings. It don't mean a thing if we're not saved. Because we're a nation of time where Christians at odds what the Bible says. where believers are fighting and suing one another. We got to get to the point where believers are saved. And listen, you won't know you're really saved until God opened the book. That's why I understand what Paul meant and when he wrote to the church. He said we walk by faith and not by sight. When I tell people I'm saved, I'm walking by faith and know God will take care of the rest. We're going to look at our next today. Matthew and Paul write. I want to pull out three things. First thing is a request for liberty. Now, listen, today we're going to discuss how gracious of invitation that Matthew gave, how gracious of invitation that Paul gave us. This is an invitation to liberty, not from rituals, not from tradition, but a liberty to worship God, all in the freedom of spirit and in truth. Liberty means freedom to worship God. See, I don't have to have a suit on to preach. I don't have to have a tie or have a dress. You don't have to have a big hat to give God thank you, because when you woke up this morning, yes, it was cold, but you got up. There's some people still laying there and they wait for the funeral home to get there to get the body, but you got up. And because of you got the freedom to praise God all by yourself. And see, many times we think we got to be in the confines of rituals or the confines of tradition. But when God has really been good to you, young or old, that's why you got to sometimes they say stir up the gift. You got to do stuff people think you're crazy, think you're trying to be something. Listen, you don't know what's down on the inside. We talked about this morning. Sometimes you got gifts just sitting there, but you got to stir it up because you never know who need to hear your testimony. You never know who been through what you're struggling with. If you just tell somebody, if it had not been for God, my marriage would have failed. If it had not been for God, I would have killed myself. If it had not been for God, I would have drove over the bridge. But I wish I had somebody thank God. I can praise God without people looking at me funny. Praise God without them talking about me. And if you do, it don't matter because you don't know, like I know what the Lord has done for me. I got a request of liberty this morning. He said, come unto me, all that are labored and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That's Matthew 11:28. And Sister Nisha invites all who struggle with religion, rituals, and guilt to come unto him. You can let Facebook mess you up. You can let people that know part of the scripture mess you up. You can let people that didn't hear what really went on mess you up. You can let people that don't come to Bible study or have a prayer life at all mess you up. You better come unto God for yourself. Some people say, you know what, I was just going to church to be going, but I came and I found out that this God is real. There's people on your job that tell you that there's no such thing as a God. There's people on your job tell you the Bible is not real. But when you find out for yourself, you realize there's no greater thing to be in the body of Christ because God has done something for you, not only you, but everybody around you. You got to have a request to have, I'm free to praise God. Goes on, he not only give an invitation for freedom and liberty, he tells you, like I said, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. For I'm meek and lowly in heart. Somebody said this morning in Sunday school, we need to just get back to the basics in church. Get back to the small stuff. He said, learn of me. I'm meek and lowly. You don't have to be able to speak Greek or Hebrew to know about God. He said, how can you love me that you never seen? You can't love your sister and brother that you see. If you really want to know about God, love one another. Because God is all of us. If God came in here, you wouldn't know him no how. Because you know that picture Big Mama had in the dining room, you think he looked like that. Or the picture of the 12 of the Last Supper of Jesus. No, Jesus don't look like that. He may come in like a bomb, smelling bad. And you tell him you can't sit by me, you got to go back a row or two. He said, what you do unto the least of them, you do unto me. So Paul said, I'm making a request that you just worship God, be free to worship God. And sometimes, Tremont, we got to step out the box. Because you want God to step out the box for you when you need him. You don't need to get laid off, lose your insurance, get sick, get cancer, and let your child be faced with a sinner. I can guarantee your praise and your prayer life will change. Before sometimes let your worship and commitment to God change. God has blessed some of you from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 2000, and you still sitting there like God has done nothing for you. You ought to just give a crazy praise every now and then. I know it's been rough. I know it's been tough, but you got the freedom to praise God. So not only does he give us an invitation for liberty, but also give you an invitation for learning. But give you an invitation for learning. I think last week when I dealt with Hosea, a Bible study, those that came, we do have Bible study for the new members. We got Bible study. I know old members know it, the new members don't know it. But we got Bible study on Wednesday, 12 and 7. And Hosea, he said something in the book of Hosea. He said, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And so Jesus used Matthew as well as Paul to give an invitation to learn of him. You don't have to fight a debate about the word of God when you study for yourself. See, the more you spend time with a person, the more you spend time with something or someone, the more you know it and know how to operate. That's why the class this morning, it was all in my sermon. God said, you can speak. He said, take my yoke upon and learn of me. And I give you an invitation to learn. That's why you can spot check if you want to. The more you study God, the more you learn. I got to spend time with Sister Mars to have a good relationship. A lot of people say, my husband make a lot of money, he do a lot of things, but he's always at work. Or somebody say, well, I bought him this, I bought him that, but I want you to just go to the game with me. If you spend time with God, you begin to understand God. He said, I give you an invitation to learn. This invitation, not only invitation to live, but invitation to learn. He said, the Savior said, take my yoke upon you. Christ invite those who desire his rest to take his yoke upon him. So when trouble comes your way, you can understand sometimes God put weight on you to really learn how God can work and bring you out of stuff. And God used Hosea to marry a prostitute. God made a donkey speak. God made an axe head. So God put the tax money in a tilapia fish mouth. And God sometimes do things not to show off how powerful he is, but he sometimes do things to show you that I'm still God. So some of the things that you went through last year, he didn't do it to destroy you. One, because you're still here, and two, because he's God. He's doing it to show you that if you just learn of me, the next time you go through the same thing, if God brought you through that, you learn the lesson then, and he can bring you through what you're going through right now. Don't have anybody here that say, I've learned that God is a waymaker. I've learned that God will bring me out. So I learned that God can do that. But don't have anybody that have learned some stuff about God. Paul said, my heart desire and prayers for Israel is that they might be saved. I want you to learn about God. And the more you learn about God, the more you get closer to salvation. Yeah. The more we study God, the more we get closer to their salvation. So as Matthew talks about it early in the New Testament, Paul talks about it later on in the New Testament. We've got to understand God has a desire for us to have the freedom of him as well as to learn of him. So not only does he make a request of freedom, make a request of living, but he also of learning, but he also make a request of labor. I made a statement earlier this year that how I want some folks that's not doing something to do something here. Many of us just been sitting back, enjoying the blessings that others do, but if God has given you good strength, given you gifts, given you talents, don't sit back on what God has given you. God said, I need some workers in the vineyard. Because there's a lot of work in the harvest. But the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. And so we look at this text here, he basically said, Christ promised us a yoke, but he also promised us blessings. So at the same time God bless us, he needs some folks that till the ground. Yoke was put on animals that plowed the field, that did the work. And when you plow the field, that means seeds was planted so crops can grow. Everybody wants the crops to grow, but who's willing to put the yoke on to plant the field. So God gives us an invitation to learn, an invitation of freedom, but it also gives us an invitation of labor. And when you work for God, there's no greater payday than God showing up on your behalf. Also, I know you work on your job, and when Friday comes or whenever your payday comes, you expect a paycheck. And see, many times when you work for God, you may not get a physical paycheck, may not get a dollar, may not get a check at all. But when God show up in your situation because you've been working for Him, don't you know no greater payday when God show up to the hospital room and heal your body? That's why I say, God, when nobody else went, I went. That's why I want to work for God, because when I need my child out of trouble for something that he or she done, I say, God, remember, I've been working on the battlefield for you. And because of that, you can turn some stuff around for them. That's why some of us still here, because you had big mama that worked the ground. You had big daddy that worked for the Lord. They didn't ask for a paycheck. They can't rebuild the church. They can't replace the roof. They can't paint the building. They didn't ask for a paycheck. But they would land up their labor for one day God turns some stuff around. Do I have anybody here know that God will show up for you on your behalf when you work for Him? And so Paul, he speaks to stronger members. As Matthew talked to new believers and new converts that were just getting into this thing, Paul says the same thing to people that should know better. They're not just starting off like when Matthew spoke it. He was just speaking to the early church. They just learned about Jesus. But Paul talked to a church that's already in the church. That's why he said, brethren, my heart's desire. I'm not talking to a new church, but I'm talking about people that's been in church all their lives. So I stop out and not talk to the new believers. But I'm talking about folks that's been in church all their lives. My heart desires. It's not that you give another dime or give a greater offering. My heart desire, because if you get saved, you give your 10%. My heart desire is just like Paul, is that Israel, that Tremont, the believers might be saved. And when saved folks come together, what a time we might. Don't have anybody here that know when we are really living for God, God can turn some things around. He says here in Romans 10:1, brother, my heart desires. Yeah. Anybody ever desired some stuff from God? And see, I asked you what you want for Christmas. You had a long Christmas list. I asked you what you want for your anniversary. You got a list for that. I asked you what you want on payday. You got a list for that. But Paul's desires to God was none of those things. He didn't want a paycheck for leading 3 missionary journeys. He didn't want a paycheck for leading men for the cross. His desire was that you live right. His desire was that you love one another. His desire was that you forgive one another. I wish I had somebody here that will be a better church if we just got saved. You ain't got to have a nice car. You don't have to have another degree. But if you just got saved. A heart desire prayer for Israel is that they might be saved. And he says this because the way some of them were acting, all of them weren't saved. Not only was all of them wasn't saved, but all of them will not get saved, but I'm still desiring. So I stop by to tell you, don't wait till everybody else change. If they don't change, you still change. I wish I had somebody say, I know everybody won't change, but if they don't change, I'm going to change for them. If they don't praise, I'm going to praise them because God's been too good to me. Not only is out there record, that you have a zeal for God. See, you like coming to church. You got a zeal for God. You like doing church stuff, but you're not doing it according to God. Because Paul could speak like that because at one point he had a zeal for God. But yet he was killing believers. I stopped by to tell you, sometimes we that's in here got a zeal for church. But when people that come in here don't know church, we're running right out the door because they got a tattoo on their neck, because they got a piercing in their nose, because they got sagging pants. You got a zeal for God because you've been here 30 years. But I stopped by to tell you, we could be missing them all. I know y'all got a big thing with Kim Burrell and gays and homosexual, but you'll be surprised what's on your road. You'll be surprised who's sitting next to you. So before you get too big and caught up in what's going on in the media, don't check the folks' resumes that sit close to you before you bash the gays and homosexuals. You better look at the fornicators, look at all the people that had babies before they got married, everybody committed adultery, the drunks, the weed addict, the crackhead. Listen, we all up in here. Up in here, up in here. Can I say it like I feel it? Paul's request this morning is that we stop playing church and we be the church. Stop fussing and fighting about what this person done and that person done. Because the same Paul said in chapter 3, verse 23, he said we all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So my desire is that if I can't talk about my own sin, I'm going to leave your sin alone. And I just got to live. Say, do I have anybody here? Anybody brought a broom to the church today? I wish you start bringing broom to church sometime. Why you need a broom, Pastor? Because every now and then you need to sweep around your own front door. I know you're busy trying to clean my porch, but before you get to my house and get to my neighborhood, I need to sweep around your own front. Stop looking at everybody else, giving me this, and open up your closet and watch bones and bodies start falling out. And thank God that you'll see everybody saved in here. You got a zeal for God, but you could be hurt believers. You got to think when you came to church, you weren't where you are either. And only some of y'all in church right now because you had a big mama and mama that made you come to church. These kids don't have that. These adults don't have that. So when they finally come here, let's not run them out because of our zeal. Got a zeal for God, but it's not according to righteous. The reason not according to righteous because you didn't study God's word. You went by what felt good. I stopped by to tell you, nigga, if I just went by what felt good, I wouldn't be here today because some stuff that feels good to you is not good for you. I wish I had somebody here say some of the stuff that I thought I liked was the stuff that messed me up. I wish I had somebody say I tasted, I tried it, and I wish I never took part of it, but God had to change me. Don't have anybody here that realizes not always what feels good is what's right. Sin is sin. We have all fallen short. And my desire is not you die in your sin, but you might be saved. Oh, I got a request this morning. Sister Scott, my request was not for a pay raise. My request is not for a bigger offer. My request is that believers live. So I think we got more saved believers. We won't have many fights and business meetings. We got saved folks. We won't have better ministry. We have better church. We have better worship. Because when I come to church, I'm not concerned about how I feel. I'm going to thank God for what He already done for me. That's why I praise God, not for what He's done. I thank God for who He is. Don't have anybody say I praise God for what He has already done. If you don't do nothing else in 17, He's already done. I got a request that my family be saved. I got a family that my wife be saved. I got a request that husband be saved. Anybody got a request that children be saved. Preachers be saved. Choir members be saved. Deacons be saved. Every now and then you need to pat yourself and say, God save me. Because God is able to do everything but fail. I wish I had Paul here this morning to help me preach like I feel it. Because I wasn't there on Damascus Road. I wasn't there when he fell down and lost his sight. But I believe Paul, if he was here, he said, if you know like I know what God has done for me, you better give God a praise while you have a chance. I'm the same Paul that never killed Stephen. I'm the same Paul that never put Christian in jail. But when I met Jesus for myself, I wish there were about 10 folks here that can say, when I met it for myself, my praise changed. See, some people just know about church, but when you know about Jesus, your worship changes. It feels good to come to church, but it feels better when you know Jesus. Because when you got Jesus in your life, you don't have to have a dime. When you got Jesus in your life, you don't have to have a man. You don't have to have a woman. Because you realize My joy don't come from stuff. My joy comes from Jesus. That's why I praise God. Like I got $1 million in the bank, and when I don't have a dime to my name, because God said, I'll supply all of your needs according to my riches and glory. That's why I praise God when my body's sick, because it's that by my stripes I am healed. Do I have anybody here that know God is a healer? Not only that, but I praise him because he said, I may not live up to the rituals, I may not live up to your tradition, but he said down in verse 9, that if I just confess with my mouth and believe in my heart that God raised his son from the dead, I shall be saved. That tells me to tell you, I don't care what you think about me. God has saved me. You can look at me. You can look at my past. You can check my resume. You can look at the emails all you want to. But God has saved me. Do I have anybody here that don't care what nobody else thinks? I may never meet your approval, but thank God. That's all I got to do. Ain't got to run around and jump 10 times. I just got to believe in my heart, confess with my mouth that he died one Friday night. But early on Sunday morning, he got up with all power. So my request for 2017 is that just love one another. My request for 2017 that you walk hand in hand with one another. My request is that family members get along. My request is that you do right by one another. But I got one special request that my heart desire and prayer for Israel is that you might be saved. See, being saved does not mean that you got a certain walk, Deacon Brandon. It means that's some stuff that could have or should have destroyed you. But just in the nick of time, God saved you. Or it could mean life is leaving your body. And God come perform a miracle CPR. He saved. Don't you know salvation does not start when they get to heaven. Salvation started right now. Because you don't know how many near-death experiences you have had, but God just didn't let you see it. See, sometimes you're thinking when you get the report that God bless you before you even went to the doctor. Ultimately, a teacher point, ultimately, salvation means God will save you from hell's fire. That's what being saved means. You will be saved. That's why I did Revelation when I first came early in my ministry. I want you to understand that Revelation means when the end time comes and Satan has been defeated, those that's not saved will burn in the lake of fire, which is different from hell. The lake of fire, the fire would never go out. It'll never be quenched. I think Isaiah 66 and 18 said there'd be nothing but gnashing of teeth there. The cankerworms will be crawling in and out your body. And the fire will never be quenched. Now that does not mean I will be perfect. Because he's going to save some imperfected folks. Thank you, Jesus. See, the rest of y'all that's perfect, you'll be saved too. But for the rest of us, like David, myself, and Paul, and the rest of us that struggle in life, he said, I will save you. That's why my desire, see, when God saved your heart changed. And many of us think we hypocrites because we still struggling. Listen, if you think that's the case, and all of us ain't hypocrites. Amen. Amen. But the problem is, we don't understand God. That's why I say, learn of me. If you learn of me, you will stop trying to live up to people's standards. People that don't go to church on your job, stop debating with them. Just say, I understand, God bless you. Now, let me go back to my office. Let me get back to my station. You go in your cubicle and believe what you want to believe, and I want God to save me. God will save you. That's his desire. That's when people come to me. I want you to really believe that Jesus died. And God had enough power to raise him from the grave. Amen. If you can believe that, event that you didn't see, you can believe that it can take care of your head. You can believe it can take care of your finances. And stop looking at other people that got issues, because you may not believe it, but you got some issues longer than 12 years. And so just as they got issues, pull out the compact. Pull out your phone and turn the mirror around and look at yourself. And say, God, I've been praying you save them, but really I want you to save me. Because when people have been saved from the lake of fire, I want to be saved too. The car accident they killed because God saved me from them. So my heart desire and prayer for Israel, we are Israel, is that they might be saved. My desire for young people, not that they act like an adult, they act so mature. I want them to be children. I want them to be saved children. I want them to run around and play tag. And listen, you workers, if it's too much for you, find another ministry. Kids gonna be loud. If you don't got past that age, you can't handle kids being loud and jumping from mattress to mattress on trips. You need to find another ministry, because they gonna get on your nerves. I want them to be kids. I don't want them to be grown. Because grown kids do grown folk stuff. I want them to play tag. I want them to be pre-freeze. I want them to play the PlayStation. Let them be children. If you can't handle it, go to the mission, go to the choir, go somewhere else. Kids gonna tell them to sit down, they gonna hop back up. Tell them stop talking, they gonna keep talking. They just come with it. But if they're saved, they're gonna be all right. I'm gonna tell you how I know they're gonna be all right. Because y'all still here. Y'all all right. So the kids being kids, let them be kids. And in the church that don't have kids, it's a dying church. Because if they all die, what the church gonna be? Y'all ain't condition some middle-aged folks to change. They scared to move.